Clark tells Anya what they got to offer.
Right.
And Bellamy doesn't give a fuck.
At all.
He tells Walls that his people are already on the ground and that the people on the Ark are the ones that locked his people up. Which I find that kind of hard to believe. Are you telling me, like, all the people you know were incarcerated?
Hey, it's possible. Definitely possible.
And young? Like, you didn't know anybody your age? He didn't know anybody his age on the Ark?
Probably not. It could. You never know.
Don't forget, Bellamy's older than everyone else, so if he were to commit a crime, he would have just got floated. He wouldn't have been going to prison.
You're right. That would have been the end of him.
And so, yeah, he's yelling at Wells for, not for anything, but he's yelling at him saying, you know, his people are already down there, and the people on the Ark locked up his people. And then he says this line that kind of gave me the chills when he says it, and he's like, "Your father floated my mother for having a second child." And that line always gives me the chills. I'm like, that's messed up.
Yeah, man.
Like, I think sometimes we forget, like, we just see Bellamy as, like, this guy, but you have to remember, like,
he's complicated.
His mom was killed just because she had another kid. Like,
that would definitely bother you, or me, and anyone else, especially if you had to live among the perpetrators.
And then so Bellamy starts telling Wells how it's really going to be on the ground. He says, "Down here, it's whatever the hell we want. And there's nothing you can do about it. Know why? Whatever the hell we want."
Whatever the hell we want. This is how we're going to do it.
And then the entire camp just starts chanting Bellamy's mantra. They're just like, whatever the hell we want. Whatever the hell we want. I'm like, oh no, this cannot be good.
And probably not.
And then, bam, it starts to rain. And everyone's, like, completely ecstatic because they've never felt rain before. They've only had a couple drops. I don't know how they bathed on the Ark, but I don't think it was
recyclable
a lot
water.
of... Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they were so excited then.
Well, I mean, even though you're on recycled water, if you're on a place like the Ark, you're still on
so
restrictions.
Conservative. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it might be reconstituted piss, but you still have to only use a little bit to survive.
I need more piss. There's still conditioner in my hair.
That would be not awesome.
But yeah, when it rained, everybody was ecstatic. From the people on the ground, right up to the people on the Ark. Abby and Jackson, they saw the plasma levels go up, and they were like, they found water. And they were so excited too.
Little do they know.
The water's not just for them. So Jackson and Abby are up on the Ark, and they're all excited because the kids found water, and now they know, you know, it's raining and it's safe, and well, actually, they don't even think that means that it's safe, which I find ridiculous. Anyways, let's not get into that because I could go on forever about how ridiculous that is. So they're all excited about the fact that the kids have found water, and they're celebrating a tiny bit. And in walks Acting Chancellor Kane, or pro-temporary chancellor, whatever they call him, walks in and arrests Abby for using more than ration to save Jaha.
Ignorant.
And that was like more of, you got to see the two of them and their hate for each other.
No, I don't think so.
What?
What'd you say?
Their hate for each other.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I heard you wrong. I was like, what? But yes, absolutely right.
I was like, well, I'm sorry, does this scream love to you?
Yes, that is love. Ass. That is love, baby.
Well, I mean, he apparently did float his girlfriend, or whoever that random chick was that we never find out about.
Yeah, I'll float any random chick. Did I say float?
Yep.
All right. So
yeah, but
Go ahead.
I liked seeing the dynamic of that interaction between the two. Because we got to see just how much Abby did not want to put up with Kane as Chancellor. You know, she says she used whatever it took, whatever she had to do to stop him from becoming Chancellor. And she says a line that I found really powerful. And I'm not sure if it's a quote that somebody famous said or if it was just said by Abby on the show, but
What was this?
she said, Abby says a line. She says, hiding behind the law absolves you of nothing. I'm not sure if a famous person said that quote or if it's just made up for the show, but I found that really powerful.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, was it? Thank you.
Yeah. Published, copyrighted, millions made.
Ladies and gentlemen, philosopher Derek.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. PD.
You have a PD all of a sudden?
What?
Isn't it PhD?
Yeah, it's a PhD, but I don't have one. Just Derek philosophy. Philosopher. That's what it is. Philosopher Derek, yeah. So,
okay.
Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah. Abby gets locked in Clark's cell, which I find kind of ironic. But she's just looking around at the drawings, and she's kind of, happy and believing her daughter's alive and well on Earth.
So,
even though she's kind of about to be floated, but she takes a minute to just think, good, Clark made it to Earth. You kind of see that in her face. And so it goes back on down to the ground. And Clark wakes up to this beautiful radiated forest.
How's what?
And I know, it sounds weird, but it was beautiful and it was radiated. And Finn, he's also awake. He decided to go back down to the river to collect some water and a leaf.
A leaf.
Yeah, this whole scene where Clark's taking her little sip from Finn's leaf cup in this glowing forest. Right. It reminded me of a Disney movie.
A Disney ride.
Then we go back up to the Ark, and Kane's enjoying the view of Earth from his new... I guess he was in Jaha's office because he was acting as the Chancellor, so he's enjoying the view from the Chancellor's office. And I just felt like that was a scene. It just felt really smug to me. He was checking me out. He was sipping out of one of Jaha's cups. I don't know what he was drinking, but he's having a drink, looking out the window, finally made it, bitches.
Yeah.
Pro temporary or not, I'm still in here.
Still in here.
And then they're back on the ground.
Right.
And Bellamy ends up waking up Wells with his gun that he used to shoot his father. Or Wells' father, not Bellamy's father, because we don't even know who Bellamy's father is. And he's, threatening him to take his wristband off. And all of a sudden, Bellamy puts the gun away. And Murphy and a few other guys come out from the woodwork and force Wells to take off his wristband. Yeah, you can edit that part out. It made nothing. It was nothing. I'm reading it again. I'm that's going nowhere. Abby's about to go into the airlock. And once she's inside, she starts shouting some orders to Jackson about how they can potentially contact the 100 on the ground. And just before the guy goes to push the button, Jaha comes to rescue Abby from her demise.
Put a freeze on the floating.
He stops the execution and pardons Abby of her crimes. And he tells Kane that he's going to deal with him later, and he does not look happy with him. You're in big trouble, pro-temporary Chancellor Kane.
Trouble indeed.
On the ground, Octavia, Finn, Monty, Jasper, and Clark, they're about to swing across the river on this Tarzan-looking thing. Finn's got the rope, and he's gearing up to go. And Jasper comes to give him some words of advice. And he says, just hang on to the apogee and you'll be fine. And Finn makes a joke about the Apache Indians that Jasper kind of takes seriously. And
Right.
Clark ends up telling him after that Finn's not an idiot. He knows what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Which, it was this time watching it around that I actually figured that scene out. Like, before I thought Finn really was an idiot and thought Jasper meant the Indians. Until I was watching it this time. And I was like, oh. And I saw the look on Finn's face when he kind of made this look like he was joking about it. And Clark shouts, she's like, he knows what it means. And I was like, oh, he does? Fuck.
Snitch.
Anyway, so Jasper sees Octavia giving him googly eyes from down below and decides that he wants to make a bold move to show her how much cojones he's got. And he's like, here, let me do it. And he takes the rope from Finn and he starts swinging across the river. After he ever so not gracefully lands, like face plants to the other side, he gets up and he like throws his hands in the air and he's like, we are Apogee!
And
then they all start cheering, and in the excitement, Jasper finds this sign that says Mount Weather, and he's like, hey guys, we're here, I found it! And he's holding up this Mount Weather sign, and all of a sudden, douche!
that's
He
it.
gets him impaled right through the chest with a huge ass spear.
Yeah, that was a hell of a shocking factor for me. I was like, yo, what just happened?
I was like, whoa!
Man, he looked like the Hulk through that spear. It hit him so hard.
And so the rest of them scramble to take cover.
Right.
And then Clark says these 4 spine-tingling words that end the first episode. We are not alone.
And fade to black. And I was ready for episode 2 and on the edge of my seat when I saw that, man. That was awesome. And in true, like we said, in 100 fashion, they ended it with a cliffhanger like no other. So definitely leaves you wanting more.
I know, like you kind of had to expect that there was something else down there, but when they were like, we're not alone, it just hit home. You're like,
Yeah.
They're not alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes our podcast, our initial podcast of the CW100 podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the CW100 podcast, email the CW100 podcast at gmail.com, and we're in association with the 100 Fan Group on Facebook. All of the music that you hear is from bensound.com, and we're going to let you roll into that as we say goodnight. Yaha! Ooh.